our dear Kayla Van Aken. She's been a member since March of 2016. Her company is County Boulder Property Management, and they've had 20 plus years of family-owned operation. Their goal is to take the burden of property management off the hands of the homeowner and ensure that both their owners and tenants receive the highest level of quality, professional, hassle-free service they deserve from their favorite local property management team. Kayla, take it away.
Thank you, Kate. So this morning I'm going to start off with a few questions, see if you guys have any previous knowledge of a few things, and I have a few little prizes here. So who can tell me what areas we service?
Boulder County.
Boulder County.
All right, well, Jim said it first. So,
What's my prize?
is there any part of Boulder County that we do not service?
Mountains.
Mountains.
Yes, all right. So, I have a little screwdriver set, a little chip clip, or some gum. Which one do you want?
Gum. Gum's good. Thank you.
Screwdriver.
He's the handyman.
So we do service all of Boulder County, so Boulder and the surrounding towns here. And we have properties in all of those different areas. So if you know anyone who has property in that area, I'd love to help them. Who can tell me where you need a rental license?
Boulder City.
You can't answer again.
Oh, okay.
All right, that one's a dud. Yes, so if you have a property in the city limits, you are required to have a rental license. That requires an inspection to be completed and then paperwork to be submitted to the city for you to have that. Those typically last about 4 years, and then you will have to do a renewal at that time. Who can tell me what Smart Regs is? Raise your hand. Kate.
It is a way for the government to put their thumb down on homeowners and make them pay a lot of money so they can rent their properties. I can
Close.
Oh, I mean, to make the properties energy efficient.
Yes. Which prize would you like?
I'll do the screwdriver.
You have no feelings about this.
Screwed by the city.
But not too screwed, they're pretty small.
So if you do have a property within the city limits, the city does require that you meet Smart Regs, which is an energy efficiency program they have put into place. You do have to have an inspection set up for that. And then if you meet, it's a point-based system. If you meet your points, then you pass and you're good to go. If you do not, then you're required to make a few changes to your home to meet those points by the end of this year. So if it is not met by the end of this year, they will revoke your rental license. And that is only for the city limits of Boulder. Do we do anything besides property management?
I know you throw a great party.
Huh?
I know you throw a great party.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Anyone? Anyone? It's a yes or no question. You got a 50-50
Yes.
chance. No. We do not. So property management is our complete focus. We don't do any buying or selling or any other services. So we really focus on property management to make sure that we're doing the best job that we can for our clients. So I have a few little, just the top 10 things that we can do. The first one would be to help people get their property ready to rent. So if there's any kind of little handyman work, cleanings, anything along those lines that needs to be done, we can coordinate all of that for you. We will recommend an appropriate rental price, so we'll do a rental analysis of your property and compare it to the other properties on the market at that time, just to make sure that you're being very competitive in the market and getting the best price you can and getting tenants as fast as you can. We will help you find good tenants. So we'll come in, we take photos of the property, we'll list it online. We have a great system that shoots the listing out to over 25 different websites. So it really gets out there for people to see. We then will have people apply online. We do a full background and credit check, and we also do personal phone calls to their previous landlords and current employers, just to really make sure they're going to be a good fit for the property. We collect rent every month. We're very strict about this. Rent is due on the 1st, late on the 2nd, and they start accruing late fees. And on the 3rd, we're posting a notice on the door. Sounds very harsh, I know. But it trains tenants to pay on time. And if we had to get to an eviction process for some reason, that's the first step. So we're not waiting till the end of the month to get that going. And just trying to save our owners and make sure that everything's running really smoothly there. We will keep an eye on properties and do monthly drive-bys just to make sure that, tenants are cutting the grass, there's not a couch sitting in the yard, that if there's branches starting to kind of hit the roof that might create damage, that we're noticing that and doing some preventative maintenance if needed. We have someone on call 24/7, so we're getting those 3 a.m. phone calls, not you. And we only work with licensed and insured vendors who we trust to do a good job. We're very particular about our vendors, and if they're not meeting our standards, we're not using them anymore. Yesterday with all the high winds, we had someone call in that their chimney had blown off of the house. So, we were there to take that phone call and get someone on it so that the owner isn't having to deal with that issue. We will manage any lease renewals and tenant turnover to try and minimize the vacancy as much as possible. Every month, the owners will receive accounting statements showing them everything going on with the property financially, and also 1099 forms at the end of the year for their tax purposes. We keep things legal, so we know what the rules and regulations are, and we'll be sure to follow those, kind of along the lines of rental licenses and smart regs. And then finally, we're just here to be strategic and help people maximize their investments. So does anyone have any questions about any of those items? Kind of threw a lot out at you there.
Do you do sort of an all or none type of system, or do you kind of vary the level of your interaction with the property?
So you can do a lease-only situation where we will just assist with the leasing side of things and then hand everything back over for management. Or you can have the full realm of things. But we don't really divvy that up when it comes to the actual management services.
Alicia's not here, so I'll ask you, probably know the answer. But, there are different rules regarding the deductibility of rental expenses vis-a-vis active investor versus passive investor. If you do everything, am I still considered an active investor and therefore able to take all the full write-offs on the rental property? Not to put you on the spot, if you don't know, I'll ask Alicia.
I am not 100% sure, but I believe so.
Okay.
But I would check with her because I'm not sure of the tax laws on that.
I hear of a lot of clients that I work with that end up buying a property and want to use it as a rental. And then a couple months later, I talk to them, they're like, well, they haven't paid rent for a couple months because, well, I felt sorry. Like, they lost their job, and they're really nice people and all that. But the bottom line is, it is your investment. And so when you have somebody like Kayla there, they collect the rent. And if they're not getting the rent, then the eviction process starts. There's none of this waiting a couple months before you're behind.
Yes.
And then you take action. So
Correct.
It's definitely worth doing.
A notice is on their door, like I said, within that first week if they have not paid. And we have relationships with our tenants. We try to have happy tenants because happy tenants pay rent on time and they take care of their property. So you want to have happy tenants, happy owners, happy life, right? But we are able to take a little bit of that emotion out of it sometimes, even if it is something we feel bad about. It's our job. And we're not the owner of the property. We're not having to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I feel bad for you. We're the bad guy. We have to be it. But that's what we're here for. So, we had an owner bring us their property and the tenant hadn't paid rent for 6 months. So we had to do the eviction process. And that's the actually only eviction that we've had to take full course, where we've pulled the things out onto the street. But tenants that we have placed, we've never had to do that full-on eviction. Yes?
What are your rates?
Yes, so there's only 3 fees that anyone would ever see from us. We don't have any hidden fees or markups on anything. The first one would be our leasing fee, which is that beginning process of coming in, taking photos, listing it, showing the property, screening tenants, drawing up the lease. and that's 50% of 1 month's rent. And then our monthly management fee is 10% of the rent collected each month, and that's us collecting rent, handling any maintenance issues, doing drive-bys, just in general making sure everything runs really smoothly. And then the only other fee would be about 60 days out from a lease end. We check in with the owner, make sure they want to keep renting the property. If the tenants would like to renew, we go in, do an interior inspection, make sure everything's still being taken care of. We want to keep renting to them, draw up a new lease and have them sign that, and it's a flat fee of $250. Yes?
So I'm a renter, and I have chosen, because I hate writing checks, automatic withdrawal. What would be the incentive that you could offer to tenants to do that, or I don't know, requirement, but you're expecting the rent on a certain day each month. They have committed to doing it, so why not put in place or have an incentive to do it?
To be honest with you, our current program doesn't actually allow auto withdrawal.
Really?
But our program is changing on May 7th to allow auto withdrawal. I have not thought about the fact of having any kind of incentive, but that might be something I might bring up with my team. Thanks for the thought.
No charge.
Yes.
This is just a comment. I think we need to wish her good luck this weekend because she's taken her test.
I am, yes.
And so
I'm
you can
taking
go
my
into
real
that.
estate license exam. I took half of it already and passed, now I'm taking the second half, so.
You should expand on that and explain why you need to have a real estate license as a property manager in Colorado.
I don't know.
Hey, it's the law.
It's the law.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, we're not doing any buying or selling, so a lot of it doesn't apply to my particular job. But there are parts of it that are, important to know just about how the real estate realm works and laws with the properties and how to handle them, all that good stuff. Any other questions from anyone?
Is that in Colorado, the law, or just for Boulder? Is Colorado law or Boulder?
That's Colorado state law.
That you can only manage your property if you have a real estate license.
That's correct.
Not if you're an owner managing your own
but
property,
Yeah.
I guess, if you're a property manager.
I have some.
And if you make more than one mortgage a year, you have to have a mortgage license. And in California, you have to have a real estate license to be a mortgage broker. Just can't have too much government now, can you?
Does anyone else have any other questions about anything? So I just wanted to leave you here with a quick Google review that we have, and also have clients check out our Google reviews. We have a 4.9 rating, so we try to do a really good job. So this is from one of the owners that I personally manage his property. From the very first call to All County, I was impressed far beyond any expectations I might have had. They were prompt, courteous, attentive, careful, and thorough with every step. My property was rented virtually immediately, and we couldn't have asked for better tenants. I've dealt with property managers all over the country for years and have never had an experience this good. I highly recommend All County Boulder, and Kayla in particular, for any and every property management need you may have. So,
Wonderful.
Thanks, Kayla.
Thank you.